The training hall is chaos. Dust hangs in the air like smoke after a grenade. Shouts echo off concrete walls. Recruits are dropping left and right, gasping, grabbing their ribs, their knees buckling under pressure. And in the back corner, hands trembling, eyes locked on the floor, stands Riley Matthews. Her uniform is too big. Her shoulders slouch forward like she's trying to disappear into herself. Why is she even here? That's what everyone's thinking. That's what they've always thought. Next, the instructor's voice cracks like a whip. Riley steps forward. Her legs feel like lead. Every recruit in the room watches her. Some snicker, others whisper. And then he steps up. Corporal Derek Grant, 6'2", muscles stacked like armor. He looks at Riley like she's a joke he's about to tell. "This is what they're sending us now." He says it loud enough for everyone to hear. "You sure you're in the right building, sweetheart?" Laughter ripples through the room. Riley doesn't respond. She just stands there, small, silent, invisible, the way she's always been. Derek circles her slowly, sizing her up like prey. "Let's make this quick," he mutters. Then, without warning, he throws a mocking kick toward her midsection. Not hard, just enough to humiliate. Riley stumbles back. More laughter. She doesn't fight back, doesn't argue, just stares at the floor like she's used to this. Like she's been here before, and she has. Riley Matthews, 23 years old, grew up in a small Nevada town where nobody expected much from her. Quiet kid, shy kid. The kind people looked past without a second thought. She joined the military reserve 6 months ago, hopping to prove she was more than what people saw. So far, she's only proven them right. But what no one in that room knows, what no one has ever asked, is that Riley Matthews didn't just grow up quiet. She grew up disciplined. From the age of 7, Riley trained under her grandfather, a former Marine Corps hand-to-hand combat instructor, a decorated Black Ops veteran. He didn't teach her for fun. He taught her to survive. Every morning before school, 2 hours of drills. Every evening, sparring, conditioning, weapons training. By the time she was 16, Riley had mastered 3 martial arts forms: close quarters combat, tactical disarmament techniques used by special forces units. But she never told anyone, not her friends, not her teachers, not even her recruiter. Because Riley learned early that being underestimated was sometimes the best weapon you could carry. Back in the training hall, the laughter hasn't stopped. Derek stands over her, arms crossed, grinning like a bully who just won recess. "Come on, at least try to block." Riley's jaw tightens. Her fists clench at her sides. She's faced this her whole life. The dismissals, the mockery, the assumption that because she's small and quiet, she's weak. In high school, she was cut from the track team for being too fragile. At her first reserve training session, a sergeant told her she'd never make it past basics. Even here, in a room full of people who were supposed to be her teammates, she's treated like dead weight. The instructor steps forward. "Grant, ease up, let's move on." But Derek doesn't move. "Nah, I want to see what she's got." He steps closer. Riley's breathing slows, her heartbeat steadies. She's been here before, this moment, this pressure, and every time she's had to choose, stay invisible, or show them what she really is. Derek raises his hand like he's about to shove her shoulder. And that's when Riley moves. It happens in a flash. Riley sidesteps smooth as water, and Derek's hand catches nothing but air. His balance shifts. Riley's hand snaps out. Palms strike to his sternum. Controlled but firm. Derek stumbles backward, eyes wide, breath knocked out of him. The room goes silent. Before he can recover, Riley flows into a low stance, sweeps his front leg, and in one seamless motion redirects his weight. Derek hits the mat hard. The sound echoes like thunder. No one laughs now. Riley stands over him, calm, controlled, her face unreadable. Derek blinks up at her, stunned, gasping for air. "What the hell?" The instructor steps forward, eyes narrowed, studying Riley like he's seeing her for the first time. "Matthews," he says slowly, "where did you learn that?" Riley doesn't answer. She just extends a hand to help Derek up. He doesn't take it. Instead, he scrambles to his feet, face red, fists clenched. Lucky shot. Try again, Riley says quietly. And this time, there's no fear in her voice. Derek lunges. Riley moves like smoke, ducking, weaving, redirecting every strike with minimal effort. She doesn't attack. She doesn't need to. She just makes him look slow, clumsy, powerless. Within 30 seconds, Derek is back on the mat, breathing hard, pride shattered. The other recruits stare in disbelief. One whispers, "Who is she?" Then the doors slam open. Everyone freezes. 3 figures step into the training hall. 2-star General Marcus Hale, Brigadier General Diane Frost, and behind them, a woman in black tactical gear with no insignia. But everyone in the room can feel the authority radiating off her. The instructor snaps to attention. General on deck. Every recruit scrambles to stand at attention, except Riley, who's still catching her breath in the center of the room. General Hale's eyes sweep the space, then lock onto her. Matthews. His voice is granite. Front and center. Riley's stomach drops. She steps forward, heart pounding. Did she do something wrong? Is she about to be discharged? The general studies her for a long, heavy moment. Then he speaks. "We've been watching you." Riley's breath catches. "Watching me, sir." General Frost steps forward. "Your grandfather was Master Sergeant William Matthews, correct?" "Yes, ma'am." "He trained you." It's not a question, Riley nods. The woman in black finally speaks. Her voice is cold and precise. "We've been running a classified recruitment program, searching for candidates with advanced combat skills, situational awareness, and the ability to operate under pressure without drawing attention." She pauses. "You've been on our radar for 3 months." Riley's mind reels. 3 months. Every evaluation, every drill, every moment you held back. The woman's eyes gleam. "We needed to see if you could stay disciplined even when provoked." Riley glances at Derek, still on the mat, staring at her like she's a ghost. General Hale steps closer. "Matthews, we didn't come here to watch you spar." "Then why?" "We came to offer you a position." Silence. Special Operations Recon, Shadow Unit, off-book missions, high risk, 0 recognition. Riley's heart hammers in her chest. "But there's one final test," General Frost adds. The woman in black gestures toward the door. 4 operators step inside, full tactical gear, built like walls, eyes like steel. "You have 2 minutes," the woman says. "Survive against all 4 and the position is yours." The room erupts in whispers. Derek mutters, "No way." "She's quiet," the general snaps. Riley looks at the 4 operators. They're not here to go easy on her. This is real. She takes a breath, rolls her shoulders, and steps into the center of the mat. The operators spread out surrounding her. No rules, no mercy. The timer starts. The first operator lunges. Riley drops low, slides past his guard, and strikes the nerve cluster behind his knee. He buckles. The second comes from her left. She redirects his momentum, using his own weight to send him crashing into the third. The fourth grabs her from behind. Riley doesn't panic. She drops her weight, twists her hips, and uses a joint lock her grandfather drilled into her 1,000 times. The operator releases. She spins free. 30 seconds gone. The operators regroup, eyes sharper now, respect creeping into their movements. They come at her together this time. Riley moves like water through stone, fluid, precise, unstoppable. She doesn't rely on strength. She relies on timing, leverage, control. Every strike is a redirection. Every block is a counter. She's not fighting them. She's teaching them why they can't win. At 1 minute 45 seconds, all 4 operators are on the mat, breathing hard, eyes wide. Riley stands in the center, barely winded. The room is dead silent. The timer hits 2 minutes. General Hale steps forward. "Welcome to the program, Lieutenant Matthews." The training hall is still. Riley stands at attention, chest heaving, sweat dripping down her face, but her eyes steady, unbreakable. General Frost approaches, extending a hand. "Your grandfather would be proud." Riley shakes it, her voice barely a whisper. "Thank you, ma'am." Derek finally gets to his feet. He looks at Riley, shame and awe warring on his face. He swallows. "I'm sorry, I didn't know." "You didn't ask," Riley says simply. He nods, humbled. The woman in black steps forward one last time. "You start Monday, 0500 hours. Briefing is classified. Tell no one." "Yes, ma'am." The generals leave. The operators follow. And Riley Matthews, the girl everyone underestimated, the quiet recruit nobody believed in, she's finally seen. Not because she demanded it, but because she earned it. But here's the thing about being seen. It doesn't erase the years you spent invisible. It doesn't undo the dismissals, the mockery, the loneliness. Riley walks out of that training hall with a new rank, a new future. But the weight on her shoulders hasn't lifted. It's just changed shape. That night, Riley sits alone in her barracks. The room is empty. Most of the other recruits are at the mess hall celebrating the end of training week. But Riley doesn't celebrate, she never has. She pulls out a worn photograph from her locker, her grandfather, Master Sergeant William Matthews, standing in full dress uniform, medals pinned to his chest, eyes hard but kind. She remembers the last thing he said to her before he died, 2 years ago. Cancer took him fast, too fast. "Riley," he'd said, his voice weak but steady, "the world's gonna try to make you small. It's gonna tell you that quiet means weak, that soft means broken. Don't you believe it?" He'd squeezed her hand. "You're stronger than anyone will ever know. And one day, when it matters most, you'll show them. Not because you need their approval, but because someone's life will depend on it." Riley stares at the photograph. Tears blur her vision. She wipes them away quickly, force of habit. She spent her whole life hiding her emotions, hiding her strength, hiding everything that made her different. But now, for the first time, she's being asked to step into the light, to be exactly what she's always been, except this time people are watching. And that terrifies her. Because being underestimated kept her safe. It gave her control, no expectations, no pressure, no one counting on her to be anything more than forgettable. But now she's a lieutenant in a shadow unit, off-book missions, high risk, zero recognition. People will depend on her, lives will be on the line, and if she fails, there's no one to blame but herself. Riley closes her eyes, takes a slow breath, and for just a moment she lets herself feel it. The fear, the doubt, the voice in her head that still sounds like every person who ever told her she wasn't enough. Then she opens her eyes, puts the photograph back in her locker, and stands. Because fear doesn't mean she's weak. It means she's human. And being human doesn't disqualify you from being extraordinary. It just means you have to choose it, every single day. Monday morning, 0500 hours, Riley arrives at the briefing location, a nondescript building on the edge of the base. No signs, no windows, just a steel door with a keypad. She punches in the code she was given. The door clicks open. Inside, the air is cold, sterile. The hallway is dimly lit. Her boots echo on the concrete floor. She reaches another door, knocks twice. A voice from inside. "Enter." Riley steps in. The room is small. A single table, 6 chairs, 4 of them are already occupied. The 4 operators from her test. They look up as she enters. No smiles, no greetings, just nods of acknowledgement. Riley takes the empty seat at the far end of the table. The 6th chair remains empty. She wonders who it's for. The woman in black from the training hall enters. She doesn't sit. She stands at the head of the table. Her expression is unreadable. "Good morning. I'm Commander Alina Voss. You're here because each of you has been selected for Task Force Phantom. Our unit operates outside standard military protocols. We handle situations that officially don't exist, targets that aren't on any map, threats that can't be addressed through conventional means. She pauses, lets that sink in. You will receive no medals, no commendations, no recognition. If you die in the field, your death will be classified. Your family will be told you died in a training accident. Your name will never be spoken again. Riley's pulse quickens, but she doesn't flinch. Neither do the others. Commander Voss continues. Your first mission begins in 72 hours. You'll be inserted into a hostile region to extract a high-value target. Intelligence suggests the target is being held in a compound heavily guarded by enemy combatants. Stealth is priority. Engagement is secondary. Extraction is everything. She slides a folder across the table toward Riley. Matthews, your team lead. Riley's breath catches. She glances at the 4 operators. They're all older, more experienced, more qualified. Why her? One of the operators, a man with a scar running down his jaw, speaks up. With all due respect, Commander, she's green, barely 6 months in. Why is she leading? Commander Voss's eyes don't leave Riley. Because leadership isn't about time served. It's about judgment under pressure. Matthews proved she can think 3 moves ahead while 4 trained operators try to take her down. That's the kind of mind we need making calls in the field. The operator nods, doesn't argue further. Riley opens the folder. Inside are surveillance photos, maps, dossiers, and a photograph of the target, a woman, mid-40s, Dr. Amira Khalil, a scientist, specialist in bioweapons. She'd been working with a coalition task force before being captured by an insurgent group 6 weeks ago. Intel suggests she's still alive, Commander Voss says, but her captors are planning to move her within the week. If they succeed, we lose her, and with her, any chance of stopping what she was working on from falling into the wrong hands. Riley studies the photograph. Dr. Khalil's eyes are tired, haunted. Riley wonders what she's endured in the last 6 weeks, wonders if she's still holding on to hope, or if hope is something she's already let go of. Your insertion point is here. Commander Voss taps a location on the map. A village 12 clicks from the compound. You'll pose as aid workers. Once you're in position, you'll have a 4-hour window to breach, extract, and exfil before enemy reinforcements arrive. 4 hours. Riley's mind is already calculating. Breach strategies, contingency plans, exit routes. Questions. The operator with the scar speaks again. What's our rules of engagement? Minimize casualties, but if it's between you and them, you come home. Riley looks up. And if the target is compromised, if she's been turned? Commander Voss's expression hardens. Then you neutralize her. Silence settles over the room like a weight. Riley feels it in her chest, the reality of what she's signed up for. This isn't training. This isn't sparring. This is life and death. And sometimes the people you're sent to save are the ones you have to kill. Dismissed, Commander Voss says. Briefing packet contains everything you need. Memorize it, burn it, and be ready. The team stands. Riley lingers for a moment, staring at Dr. Khalil's photograph. There's something in her eyes, something familiar. The look of someone who's been underestimated, overlooked, left behind. Riley tucks the folder under her arm and leaves. 72 hours later, Riley is on a transport plane. The hum of the engines drowns out everything else. She sits across from her team. They're quiet, focused, checking gear, running through mission protocols in their heads. Riley does the same, but her mind keeps drifting back to Dr. Khalil, to the photograph, to the weight of what's ahead. What if she's already dead? What if they're walking into a trap? What if Riley makes the wrong call and someone doesn't come home? The operator with the scar, his name is Sergeant Cole Briggs, leans forward. You good, LT? Riley nods. Yeah, just thinking. Don't think too much, trust your instincts, they got you this far. Riley appreciates the sentiment, but instincts only carry you so far. Eventually, you have to make a choice, and live with it. The plane descends, the ramp lowers, and the team steps out into the night. The village is quiet, too quiet. Riley's senses are on high alert. They move through the shadows, silent, precise, every step calculated. They reach the safe house, a small building on the outskirts. Inside, their contact is waiting, a local informant. He's nervous, sweat beads on his forehead. The compound, he says in broken English. They moved her 3 hours ago. Riley's stomach drops. Where? North, into the mountains, heavily guarded. Maybe 20 men, maybe more. Cole curses under his breath. We're not equipped for that. Riley's mind races. They have limited time, limited resources. And now, a moving target, she looks at the map, studies the terrain. The mountains are treacherous, but they also provide cover. If they move fast, they might be able to intercept before Dr. Khalil is moved again. We adapt, Riley says. We go in light, fast, hit them before they know we're there. Another operator, a woman named Corporal Jenna Park, shakes her head. That's suicide. No, Riley says firmly, that's the mission. She looks at each of them. We didn't come here to turn back. We came here to bring her home, and that's what we're going to do. Cole studies her for a long moment, then he nods. All right, LT, we're with you. The team moves out, into the night, into the mountains, into the unknown, and Riley Matthews, the girl who spent her whole life trying to disappear, is now leading them into the fight of their lives. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step forward when everyone else wants to step back. Sometimes courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to move forward in spite of it. And Riley, she's been making that choice her whole life. She's just never had anyone watching before. Now 4 lives depend on her, and somewhere in those mountains a woman is waiting, hopping, praying that someone is coming for her. Riley won't let her down, not because she's fearless, but because she knows what it's like to be forgotten, to be left behind, to be told you don't matter. And no one deserves that, not even a stranger. The mountains are brutal. The terrain is unforgiving. Loose rock, steep inclines, freezing winds that cut through gear like knives. Riley's legs burn, her lungs ache, but she doesn't stop, can't stop. The team moves in single file, Riley at the front, Cole bringing up the rear. They communicate through hand signals. No words, no sound, just movement. 2 hours in, they reach a ridgeline overlooking the compound. Riley pulls out her scope, scans the area. The informant was right. At least 20 hostiles, heavily armed, patrols circling the perimeter. Guard towers at each corner, and in the center a small building. That's where Dr. Khalil is being held. Cole moves up beside her. We can't go in loud. We'll be dead before we reach the door. Riley agrees. Then we go quiet, disable the patrols one by one, create a blind spot, then breach. Jenna crawls up next to them. And if we're spotted, we improvise. It's not a great plan, but it's the only plan they have. Riley checks her watch. They have 90 minutes before the next shift change. 90 minutes to get in, get Dr. Khalil, and get out. All right, Riley says. Cole, you take the east patrol, Jenna west. I'll handle the north tower, meet at the breach point in 20 minutes. They move, silent shadows in the night. Riley reaches the north tower, 2 guards, one scanning the perimeter, the other smoking a cigarette, distracted. Riley waits, timing is everything. The guard with the cigarette turns. Riley moves, quick, efficient, a hand over his mouth, a strike to the carotid. He goes limp. She lowers him gently. The second guard hears something, turns, too late. Riley is already there. Another strike, another body. She drags them both into the shadows. 20 minutes later, the team regroups. No alarms, no gunfire, so far so good. They move to the breach point, a side door, rusted hinges. Riley picks the lock, it clicks open. They slip inside. The interior is dark. Narrow hallways, the smell of mildew and sweat. Riley moves forward, weapon raised, senses sharp. They reach a stairwell, descend into the basement. At the end of the hall, a single door, guarded by two men. Riley signals the team. Cole and Jenna move left. Riley goes right. They converge simultaneously. The guards don't have time to react. Down in seconds, Riley checks their pulses. Unconscious. Good. She opens the door. Inside, a small cell. And sitting on a metal cot, head in her hands, is Dr. Amira Khalil. She looks up, eyes wide with fear, then confusion. Who? Riley puts a finger to her lips. Dr. Khalil, my name is Lieutenant Matthews. We're here to get you out. Amira's eyes fill with tears. She nods, can't speak. Riley helps her to her feet. She's weak, malnourished, but alive. Can you walk? I think so. Good, stay close. We move fast, we move quiet. They exit the cell. The team forms a protective circle around Amira. They retrace their steps, back through the hallway, up the stairs, toward the exit, and then gunfire. Alarms blare. Shouts echo through the compound. They've been made. Riley's pulse spikes. Go, go, go. They burst through the door. Bullets ricochet off stone. Riley returns fire, drops two hostiles. Cole covers the rear. Jenna pulls Amira forward. They sprint toward the ridgeline, toward cover. But the hostiles are closing in. Fast. We're not gonna make it, Jenna shouts. Riley's mind races. They need a distraction, something to buy them time. She spots a fuel truck near the compound. An idea forms, dangerous, reckless, but it might work. Cole, Jenna, get her to the exfil point. What about you? I'll catch up, go. They hesitate, but only for a second. Then they're gone. Riley sprints toward the fuel truck. Bullets kick up dirt at her feet. She slides behind cover, pulls a grenade from her vest, pulls the pin, counts. 1, 2, throws. The explosion is massive, fire erupts. The compound is engulfed in flames. Hostiles scatter, confusion, chaos. Riley uses the distraction, runs, her lungs scream, her legs burn, but she doesn't stop. She reaches the ridgeline, looks back. The compound is an inferno. Smoke billows into the night sky, and somewhere in that chaos 20 men are trying to regroup, but Riley is already gone. She catches up to the team at the exfil point, a clearing where the extraction helicopter is waiting. Cole grabs her arm. You're insane, LT. Riley grins, breathless. Yeah, but it worked. They board the helicopter. Amira is secured. The team buckles in. And as the helicopter lifts off, Riley looks down at the burning compound below, at the mountains, at the darkness they just fought through. And she realizes something. She's not the same person who walked into that training hall 6 months ago. She's not the quiet girl who let people walk all over her. She's not invisible anymore. She's a leader, a soldier, a woman who just risked everything to save a stranger. And it feels right. For the first time in her life, it feels right. Back at base, Commander Voss is waiting. The team debriefs. Mission successful, target extracted, 0 casualties. Voss nods, satisfied. Good work, Matthews. Riley nods, but she doesn't smile. Because this isn't about praise. It's not about recognition. It's about knowing that somewhere a woman is alive because Riley chose to step forward, because she didn't let fear win. Later that night, Riley returns to her barracks. She sits on her bunk, exhausted. Every muscle aches, but her mind is clear. She thinks about her grandfather, about what he said, about showing them when it matters most. And she realizes he was right, not because she needed to prove anything, but because someone's life depended on it. Riley closes her eyes, and for the first time in a long time she sleeps without doubt, without fear, without the weight of being underestimated. Because she's finally seen, Not by them, but by herself. Weeks pass. Riley settles into her role with Task Force Phantom. Missions come and go, some easy, some brutal. Each one teaches her something new about combat, about leadership, about herself. The team respects her now, not because she demanded it, but because she earned it, every decision, every call, every moment under fire. But respect doesn't erase the scars, the nightmares, the weight of every life she couldn't save, and there have been lives she couldn't save. Missions that went wrong, targets that were already dead when they arrived, teammates who didn't come home. Riley carries them all, every single one, because that's what leaders do. They carry the weight so others don't have to. One night Riley is called to Commander Voss's office. She knocks, enters. Voss is standing by the window, staring out at the base. She doesn't turn when Riley enters. Close the door. Riley does. Sit. Riley sits. Voss finally turns. Her expression is harder than usual. Something's wrong. There's been a development. Intelligence intercepted communications from a hostile network. They're planning an attack. Major city. Civilian target. Thousands of casualties. Riley's stomach tightens. When? 72 hours, maybe less. Do we know the location? We have a lead, a man, code-named Scorpion. He's the architect. Take him out and the attack is neutralized. Riley nods. What's the catch? Voss's jaw tightens. The catch is he's embedded in a civilian population. Women, children, innocents, and he knows we're coming. He's using them as shields. Riley's blood runs cold. So we wait him out, cut off his resources, starve him until he makes a mistake. We don't have time. If we wait, people die. If we go in, people die. Either way, blood is on our hands. Riley's mind races. This is the impossible choice, the one every soldier dreads, the one that keeps you up at night for the rest of your life. What are my orders? Voss looks at her, and for the first time Riley sees something in the commander's eyes: regret, exhaustion, the weight of 1,000 impossible choices. Your orders are to do whatever it takes to stop him, whatever it takes. Riley stands. I'll need my team. They're already briefed. You deploy in 6 hours. Riley nods, turns to leave, but Voss stops her. Matthews. Riley looks back. This one's going to stay with you, no matter how it ends. Are you ready for that? Riley doesn't answer right away, because the truth is she's not sure, but ready or not, the mission is there. The threat is real, and people are counting on her. I have to be. Voss nods. Dismissed. Riley leaves, and as she walks through the base she feels the weight settling on her shoulders, heavier than ever before, because this time there's no clean answer, no right choice, just the least wrong one. And somehow she has to live with that. 6 hours later, Riley and her team are on the ground. The city is dense, crowded. The target is holed up in an apartment building, 3rd floor. Intel confirms he's not alone. At least a dozen people in the building, families, kids, innocents who have no idea they're being used as human shields. Riley's team sets up in a building across the street. They have eyes on the target's window. Cole is on overwatch. Jenna is handling communications. 2 other operators, Tors and Kim, are ready for breach. Riley watches through her scope, waits. She can see movement inside the apartment, shadows, but she can't tell who's who, can't tell civilian from combatant. LT, Cole says quietly. We have a shot, clean line to the target. Riley's finger hovers near the trigger. 1 shot, 1 kill, mission complete. But what if she's wrong? What if the intel is bad? What if the person in her crosshairs isn't Scorpion but a father holding his child? Hold, Riley says. LT, if we wait. I said hold. She needs more information, needs to be sure. Riley switches to thermal, counts the heat signatures, 12 people, 3 in the main room. The rest scattered throughout the apartment. She zooms in. One signature is moving differently, deliberate, controlled. That's him, that's Scorpion. But he's standing next to two smaller signatures. Children. Riley's breath catches. "God admits." Jenna's voice crackles through the comms. "LT, we're running out of time. If he moves, we lose him." Riley knows, she knows. But she also knows that if she takes the shot and those kids are in the line of fire, she'll never forgive herself. There has to be another way. There has to be. Tors, Kim, move to the south entrance, prepare for breach. We go in quiet, extract the civilians, then we take him. LT, that's in order. They move. Riley and Cole provide overwatch. Tors and Kim breach the building. Silent, precise. They reach the third floor. Riley watches through her scope, sees them stack up outside the door. Then everything goes wrong. The door explodes. Scorpion was waiting. He knew they were coming. Gunfire erupts. Tors goes down. Kim returns fire, but Scorpion is already moving, using the chaos, using the civilians as cover. Riley's mind races. She has to make a call now. "All units stand down. I'm going in." "LT, you can't." Riley is already moving. She crosses the street, enters the building, takes the stairs two at a time, reaches the third floor. The hallway is filled with smoke, gunfire, screaming. Riley moves through it. Weapon raised, she reaches the apartment. Sees Kim pinned down, Tors bleeding out. And in the back room, Scorpion, holding a child, using her as a shield. "Drop your weapon," Riley shouts. Scorpion grins. "You won't shoot. You Americans, always so weak, always so afraid of collateral." Riley's heart pounds. He's right, she can't take the shot, not without risking the child, but if she doesn't, he escapes, and thousands die. "Let her go," Riley says. Her voice is steady, but inside she's breaking. "Why would I do that? She's the only reason you haven't killed me yet." The child is crying, terrified. Riley looks into her eyes, sees the fear, the helplessness, and something inside Riley snaps. "You want to know why we're weak," Riley says. "Because we care. Because we see people, not targets. Because we believe every life matters, even yours." Scorpion laughs. "That's why you'll lose." "No," Riley says, "that's why we'll win." And then she moves, fast, precise. She doesn't take the shot. Instead, she closes the distance. Uses the confined space, the element of surprise. She strikes Scorpion's wrist. The gun drops. He shoves the child toward her. Riley catches her, shields her. Scorpion lunges, but Riley is ready. She redirects, sweeps his legs, and in one fluid motion disarms him completely. He hits the ground, hard. Riley is on him, knee to his spine, weapon pressed to the back of his head. "It's over." Scorpion spits. "You think you've won? You think stopping me changes anything? There are 100 more like me. 1,000. You can't stop us all." Riley leans close. Her voice is low, deadly. "Maybe not, but I can stop you, and that's enough." She pulls him to his feet, secures him, hands him off to Kim. Then she turns to the child, kneels down. "You're safe now, it's okay." The child throws her arms around Riley, sobbing, clinging, and Riley holds her, just for a moment, because this is why she does it. This is what matters, not the medals, not the recognition, just this. One life, one moment, one choice to do the right thing. Tors is evacuated, he survives. Scorpion is taken into custody. The attack is stopped. Mission successful. But as Riley walks out of that building, covered in dust and blood, she doesn't feel victorious. She just feels tired, tired of the weight, tired of the choices, tired of carrying the world on her shoulders. But she also knows she'll do it again. Tomorrow, next week, next month, because someone has to, and if not her, then who? Back at base, Commander Voss debriefs the team. She doesn't praise them, doesn't congratulate them. She just nods because she understands. She's been where Riley is, knows the cost. After the debrief, Riley walks alone across the base. The sun is setting. The sky is painted in shades of orange and red. It's beautiful, peaceful, a stark contrast to the chaos she just survived. She thinks about the child, about her eyes, about the way she clung to Riley like she was the only solid thing in a world gone mad, and Riley realizes something. She didn't save that child because she's a hero. She saved her because it was the right thing to do. Because even in the darkest moments when every option is terrible, you can still choose the least terrible one. You can still choose humanity. Riley stops, looks up at the sky, and for the first time in weeks she allows herself to feel it, the fear, the doubt, the weight, and then she lets it go, not because it's gone, but because she can't carry it and keep moving forward, so she chooses to move forward. Because that's what soldiers do, that's what leaders do. They carry the weight, they make the hard choices, and they keep moving forward, not because they're fearless, but because they're needed. Riley Matthews didn't join the military to be a hero. She joined to prove she was more than what people saw, and somewhere along the way she became exactly that. Not because she was the loudest, or the strongest, or the most fearless, but because when it mattered most she chose to stand up, to step forward, to do the impossible. And that's the difference. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it, not the absence of doubt, but the willingness to move forward anyway. Riley Matthews spent her whole life being underestimated, being overlooked, being told she didn't matter. And now she's the one people call when everything is on the line, when the mission is impossible, when the stakes are life and death. Because sometimes the strongest people in the room are the ones who never need to prove it. Sometimes dignity doesn't speak. It simply acts. And sometimes the most powerful weapon you can carry isn't strength or skill or fearlessness. It's the quiet, unshakable belief that you can make a difference, that you matter, that one person doing the right thing can change everything. Riley Matthews believed that, and in believing it she became it. Not a hero, just a soldier, doing what needed to be done, one mission at a time, one choice at a time, one life at a time, and that's more than enough.